back, it's Shelby, and today we are braiding, I think they're called survival bracelets or like a paracord bracelet. Basically it's this stuff, the little 550 cord. You can get this at your local craft store or kind of everywhere. I picked out a hot pink color because I thought it was cool. And then you need these little just plastic connectors, just the little buckles. You can also get these at the craft store, but I will link what you need below if you want to just pull it offline, make it easier that way. So these are really the only two things that you will need for this craft. I haven't made one of these bracelets in a while, but I used to make them all the time, and they're just kind of like a cool take on like a woven bracelet. Like I think we all made like those braided friendship bracelets growing up, and I don't know, when you get older you just make them out of bigger cord, I guess. But I think the idea behind them is that if you're like out camping or whatever, then you're just like carrying rope on your wrist in case you need like a strong rope. So I think that's like where they initially came from. But yeah, I am making one out of hot pink today. If you like the video, let me know by hitting that thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let's get going.
So this is the wall at my local Michael's craft store. You can see tons of different colors of rope, different sizes and thicknesses, a bunch of ways to connect it, so you have options.
Okay, so to start with, just kind of unwind your rope, and I like to fold mine in half. If you're making more than one bracelet, you might want to like measure it out, but just to make sure that I never run short when I'm making them, I just kind of start in the middle, especially if I'm only making one. Take your clasp and just loop it through, just like that. I like smaller, more delicate clasps. The bigger ones have more room. So basically just that, and then pull your ends through. So that is secure to the first side. And then when you measure your bracelet, the only really important thing is that you don't go super tight. Like, don't measure your bracelet like this and be like, oh, that's going to be the length of my bracelet, because you won't have room to braid the rope on it, because that's going to make it thicker and take up more room on your wrist. So when you're measuring it, you're going to want to give yourself just a little leeway. You don't need a whole lot. Can you see that? Just like maybe a ½ inch or something, just some space in between your wrist and the rope. Mainly because you just don't want it like super tight. That's not comfortable. So leave yourself a little bit of room. I'm going to change the camera angle and we will start braiding. So I marked my bracelet with a little pair of dots right here for how long I wanted my bracelet to be. And what I'm going to do is just take the clasp here, the part that's not attached, find your ends, and you're just gonna loop them through. And pull them till you reach your dots, or however you chose to mark it. Make sure they're even. Here we go. So the dots are going just to where the clasp is, and that's where my bracelet's going to start. So that's about how big I want my bracelet. This leaves enough room between the ropes and my wrist that it will be comfortable. Then what I'm going to do is just kind of disattach this, and I'm going to secure it down with just a little bit of tape. It's just easier. So actually what you're going to want to do is put the side that's connected towards you and the side that's not connected away from you. And I know that's a little weird, but in my experience, it's kind of the best way to do it. So just make sure your ropes are even and tape it down. Now you're going to want to secure the two lines. It's a little bit difficult at first because the lines are so long, but basically all you're doing is one under, just like this. Oops. Make it a little bit shorter so you can see it. One under, just like that. So loop it under like that. And for the other one, find the end way far down there and loop it through, just like that. So it kind of creates like a little dress knot almost, like just like that. And that is the first start of the bracelet. So now basically this is your knot or stitch going down that you want. Since this rope is coming up and this one's going down, you're going to want to alternate it, because if you do the same one over and the same one under, you're going to twist as you go. So you want to alternate it. So this one, since it's coming out, that one's going to be the one to go under, and this is going to be the one that goes up and through. So you're just creating that little knot over and over again so they cross, and every time you kind of pull it tightly, and they're going to secure down to each other. And then you just keep doing that until you're all set. Just bear in mind which ones are over and which one's under. So this one's coming up over, so it's going to go under. This one's going to go up, over and through. You can tell you're doing it right if you create this little, if it's coming through between where they cross. That's how you know it's right.
So the great part about weaving this bracelet or braiding it or however you want to say it is that there's really not any change in it. The knots are exactly the same, so you just take whichever one is on top, loop it under the 2 strands of the bracelet, keep it on top of the next strand over it, and then loop that one through and pull it tight, and then alternate going down. Like, there really is no variance. It's a super, super easy way to do it. There are different ways to braid these, but this one's the easiest, and I think the most traditional one that you're likely to see when you look at it on other people's wrists.
So when you're about halfway down your bracelet, you can see it's coming along pretty quickly. Everything's pretty uniform. This is the point where if you want to attach anything to it, you kind of do it here at the halfway point. I'm not attaching anything, but you can attach anything you want. You could attach a compass, you could attach like a bead, you can do anything you want. Just string it on here, attach it, and then continue knotting it down. If you don't want to add anything, that's fine too. Just continue your knots.
And nothing changes from the first half, so just continue your knots all the way down until you complete the bracelet, and there isn't any more room for you to continue knotting it, and you've reached the other end of the clasp.
When you're done, just pull it really tight, snip it, and cauterize the edges. So before I show you how it turned out, I'm going to show you how much rope I have left. So I have the 2 strands, and they are about 5 feet left of each, so about 10 feet total. I purchased a little coil of rope that was about 16 feet according to the package. So that means that my little wrist, which isn't even that big, used 6 feet. So you definitely use more rope than you would think you would. So keep that in mind when you're trying to measure it out. But here's how it turned out. Isn't it cute? I love the color. I think it's so cute, even though it totally clashes with what I'm wearing. Did not think that through, but super cute and would work with a lot of my outfits. So yeah, this is kind of a close-up. Hopefully the camera's getting that. You've got the clasp, just kind of goes in like that. So super cute, super easy to make. I did leave about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch space between my wrist and the ropes when I was measuring it, and that is going to make it much easier for me to get this on. Although getting bracelets on one-handed is never super easy. Let's see if I can just line it up. It's not too tight, it's just lining it up that's a problem. There we go. So loose enough that I can fit my finger through here. I can wear this all day, no problem. Not super tight, very comfortable, but snug enough that it's not going to catch on everything that walks by. So kind of the perfect length of rope, actually. I did a pretty good job measuring that. You can see, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, because you can see, but the 2 little dots that I left, it doesn't bug me. I always do the dots. I think it's a lot easier when I'm doing this, and things like this that you wear that have a fabric coating do tend to get dirty if you wear them a lot, so it doesn't bother me. But you can use like a smaller pen mark, you can mark it with tape, you can just kind of visually know where you're at when you're starting it, but if you do the little dots, it'll probably show. But anyway guys, let me know what you think about this project down in the comments. I love hearing from you. If you like the craft or the video, let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. If you want to see me here again soon for more DIY craft tutorials, general nonsense, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you here. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.